Here at Stubbs Harley-Davidson, we have one of the oldest museums in the Southwest, and we're pretty proud of it. But these are two wheels. We're going over to see the Penske Racing Museum in Scottsdale to see four-wheel racing history. Come join us. At Stubbs Harley-Davidson, we support local. That's why we created this series, Support Your Local Business, where we go to different restaurants, different organizations to show our riders where they should go.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Jack Stubbs.
Jack, Pat Haza. Welcome to the Penske Racing Museum here at the Scottsdale 101 Auto Collection in Scottsdale, the only Penske Racing Museum in the country.
Awesome.
So come on in.
Thanks for having us.
We're glad to have you. We're open 7 days a week,
Okay.
Monday to Saturday, 10 to 4, Sunday 12 to 5. And the most important thing is it's free. And then actually on the third Saturday of every month, we do a Cars and Coffee out front here, 8 to 10 in the morning. And we put out coffee and we invite people to bring, bikes included. But we have a very eclectic group of cars that show up. And, that's
awesome.
That's one of our big things every month.
We'll put that on the calendar for sure.
Start out, Team Penske, one of the most successful teams in all of motorsports. Over 600 major race wins, 44 national championships, been racing for over 55 years. Of the 600 wins, the pinnacle are the 20 Indianapolis 500 wins, 3 Daytona 500s. But when we go back to, I said 55, we've been racing for over 55 years. You even go back before that to Roger Penske. The leader of our team, he was a racer himself, very successful. He raced from 1958 to 65 when he retired to focus on his businesses. So we have one of his cars in here, the 1963 Pontiac Catalina. This is a replica of a car that he won with at Riverside NASCAR race in 1963. He raced the Pontiac, for the year. This was his only victory at Riverside. But when you go back and you look at Mr. Penske's career, he competed in everything with the exception of Indianapolis and IndyCar.
Okay.
He drove sports cars, NASCAR, a couple Formula One starts at Watkins Glen. Very successful driver. He didn't ever compete in IndyCars. So he retires and he is offered a rookie test by Clint Brawner. Well, he turns down the rookie test at Indianapolis. Brawner turns around and gives that rookie test to Mario Andretti. So Mr. Penske says, I think it worked out for both of us.
Right.
So he retires in 65, Chevrolet dealership in Philadelphia. In 66, one of the executives from the Sun Oil Corporation comes in to buy a Corvette. Roger sells him the brand new Corvette and sells him a sponsorship on a Corvette to go to the 24 Hours of Daytona. So they win their GT division. They have this red Corvette. It's got Sunoco on the front of it. Sunoco executives are super happy. They're like, oh, that was great experience. Can we go to Sebring? So absolutely, we can go to 12 hours of Sebring with the car and I drive, and everything like that. So the Sunoco folks say, I got one request. Can we paint the car blue? Sunoco blue. That was the beginning of Team Penske.
Okay.
With that race at Daytona, 24 hour, that is where Team Penske started.
In 1966.
1966.
Wow. Well, how about that? So we just learned that Team Penske was founded in 1966, the same year as Stubbs Harley-Davidson. What is the coincidence of that? Today I took this 2024 Pan America over here to the Penske Racing Museum, and I'll tell you what, this motorcycle would be my choice if I'm riding either off-road or on-road, cross-country. You could take this thing anywhere. It's great on the freeway, actually. On the way over here, it was all freeway. Bike handles extremely well, lots of performance, and just can't say enough about the technology in this thing. So if you're looking for an adventure touring motorcycle, I can tell you the Harley-Davidson Pan America is my choice.
So Rick Mears, one of the most successful drivers for Team Penske, won Indianapolis 4 times. He was the 3rd driver to win Indy 4 times. In here currently, we have 2 of his Indy winners, 1979 and 1984. So Team Penske, we can build our own race cars and design them That'll be the PC. It's a Penske chassis.
Oh, gotcha.
So from 1974 till 1999. So I say this is PC6. PC 1 to 4 were Formula One cars.
Oh.
So PC6, this would have been the first Penske designed Indy 500 winner, and it would have been our second overall. 1972 was our first Indianapolis 500 win with Mark Donohue. But here with Rick is 4-time winners, like I say, 79, 84, 87, and 91.
Wow.
So we have in here 79 and 84. The cars changed drastically just by looking at them.
Yeah.
You can see 79, this is a flat bottom car. 84, that is after ground effects came in. So you'll see the cars have sprouted side pods. Underneath those side pods are the ground effects, which is basically an upside down airplane wing that's like a tunnel.
Yep.
The air goes under the car, it gets compressed and exits out the back and creates big downforce, which also help to raise speeds.
Right.
You know, so
Also known as the floor, right?
yeah, yeah. So you know, the bottom of the car, you know, and these cars here in the beginning, you're looking at a foot. The exit, the tunnel is going to be 12 inches tall.
Sure.
Today, it's like 2 inches, if there's anything.
Yeah.
It's just the contours of the car that they've developed it, you know, and perfected it to where if they had 12 inches today, they could stop themselves. It's just too much drag to downforce, and it actually would start slowing them down. Car in the middle here is the 82 championship car, also in 82. Rick finished second to Gordon Johncock, which was the closest finish until you had Scott Goodyear and Al Unser Jr. in 92. That's currently the closest finish. Like I say, the 84. And we do shuffle cars in and out, so you know, we try to keep some of Rick's cars here just because, you know, he was just a great part of our history.
Sure. This was driven by Will Power. Yeah, this car won the championship, but didn't win at Indy, correct?
It did not win at Indy. It would have won. Will won at the Detroit Grand Prix in this car. This is the championship car. The two cars here. 17 with Joseph Newgarden and Will Power in 2022. And you can see the big thing here is the safety advances. They've added the windscreen to protect the driver. It's the exposed cockpit, you know, just to give the driver more protection by adding the windscreen, very similar to the halo that Formula One has in place. And these cars will look a lot bigger because these cars, they won their championships on the road course. So they would have been at Laguna Seca.
Right.
So they'll have the big wing packages compared to the small wings from Indianapolis and the super speedway.
Right.
But Will Power he won his Indianapolis 500 in 18. So like I said, you know, Mears PC6 first Indy 500 win. Well, here is the PC1 that I talked about. This is the first chassis that Team Penske ever designed and built at our facility in England, in Poole, England. So, like I said, we raced Formula One from 1974 till 76. In that time, we had 4 different chassis, PC 1 to 4. Those were the Formula One chassis. In that time, in Formula One, we have 1 Grand Prix victory, and that was the Austrian Grand Prix in 76 with John Watson driving.
Okay.
And it was ironic and sad that it was a year after we lost Mark Donohue, who was the cornerstone of the beginning of Team Penske. We lost him at a practice accident in 1975 at the Austrian Grand Prix.
Oh, okay.
You know, so like I said, PC1, first chassis. We moved next door here to 1977 PC5, Tom Sneva, Valley resident. This is the first car to qualify a single lap at Indianapolis over 200 miles an hour. So very fast, aluminum fiberglass car. And actually, if you look at the car where the mirrors and the windscreen are with the number, that piece comes off. The only really protection compared to today, there isn't any. The only structure in there is a bulkhead that comes up and holds the instrument cluster and the steering column. So they're going 200 mile an hour like that. And then to make it sound faster, when you do the math, 200 miles an hour is a football field a second. So it is, you know, these guys were brave back in 1970s going that fast.
Yeah. In my opinion, these cars are way more beautiful just in the way that they are, the way they were built compared to the new technology.
You know, well, it's just the way they're designed.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, pad to paper.
Yeah.
You know, no CAD, no simulations, no
Sure.
nothing. You know, the first car that we ever took to Indianapolis, which you don't have in here today, is a '69 Lola. You know, I say that was probably designed with a slide rule. They said, how big do we want to make the fuel tank? Oh, I don't know. How big we going to make the car?
Right.
You know, so
Right.
that's, you know, there was, you know,
The
more
technology
hands-on.
in 1977, the thing's literally got a regular antenna on it, like you would see like an AM FM antenna, and that's how they would communicate back and forth with the car.
So they, you know, they used what was available.
No computer technology at all.
So talked about, you know, our open wheel history and all that. So, you know, we can't miss out on our NASCAR Cup Series history. Big part of it. Like I say, we've won Daytona 3 times. Right here we have Joey Logano's 2015 Daytona 500 winner, so kind of, you know, slots right in between. You know, Ryan Newman won our first in 2008, and then Austin Cindric, who became the youngest Daytona 500 winner, won our third. So it's, you know, we always like to keep all parts of our history here in the museum for our guests to enjoy.
100 pounds, 775 horsepower. You know, it's like night and day with the Indy and the F1 stuff.
You know, and then if you compare it to the '63 Catalina, I like to say the Catalina, that's a stock car that rolled off an assembly line and was modified into a race car, where Logano's, you know, Ford Fusion here, this was purpose built from chassis up at our shop in North Carolina.
This 2019 Indianapolis 500 winner driven by Simon Pagenaud.
So Simon won 2019. In our Menards highly visible car here.
Yeah, right.
So this, like, I didn't catch on it. So everything, you know, was a V8 up until 2012. 2012, Indy cars changed over to a 2.2 liter V6 turbocharged. You know, still producing the 700 horsepower. You know, it goes back to the whole thing that, you know, win on Sunday, sell on Monday, where all the manufacturers and everything like that. Well, not many V8s in cars these days, unless trucks and stuff like that. So that's why they went to the V6. Still puts out the same power. It's a direct injected. You know, they're running ethanol, so E85. You know, so it's a green fuel. You know, same thing that people can get at the pump. You know, and it's a little different, whereas, you know, you're not getting, you know, 150,000 miles on this motor.
Right.
You know, there's restrictions in place where we're not changing them every week, but, you know, it used to be back in the day, you'd put 500 miles on a motor and you would change it and put a fresh one in. So that's what allows it to get the output. Whereas, you know, we're rebuilding them and everything like that fairly frequently. You know, next to the Indy 500 winner here, we have the Corvette Grand Sport from 2019. This is the actual pace car that was used on track in 19. So we've seen the cars downstairs. Let's go upstairs and we can show you some of the small selection of our trophies from over the years of our success.
All right.
Over 600 wins. We couldn't display them all in the same place. You know, but we do have a small selection, and we do rotate them around, so we do keep it fresh. You know, some of the cooler ones are the you know, Bristol, Tennessee. They call that the last, you know, Coliseum. You know, the last Coliseum. So what trophy do you have? You have a sword.
Sure.
You know, so that, you know, that's kind of different. You know, just different ones from the years. For Daytona, obviously they have the big trophy and all that. The one that they let you take is the Harley J. Earl. So what we have here is the 2008 from our first one. So our first Daytona 500 win was also the 50th anniversary.
Oh.
So it's gold because it's the golden anniversary.
Gotcha.
So what better way to pinnacle your first at Daytona than have it be the gold one.
Sure.
So we have that on display, as well as Ryan Blaney's 2017 Pocono 500 win, which is really cool with the eagle and the American flag behind it. So
nice.
You know, so we do switch them out from now and then.
Yeah. Hey, Pat, I really want to thank you for having us. Really appreciate it. Wealth of knowledge. This place is amazing. And I want to invite you to come check out our museum at Buddy Stubbs Harley-Davidson, where we have all this, but just in two-wheel fashion.
So appreciate it. I'm sure I'll be happy to stop over there and check it out.
Sounds good, man.